I can get this working.
I don't know why Korean is still saying no.
What's this? Bam. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right. So we are live. RJ, can you go get mommy's phone?
Where is it?
I don't know.
I think it's in my phone.
Please.
Wait,
So I can check to make sure that my volume is good. Okay.
I can't see the phone.
Did it?
Mm-mm.
Did you check the kitchen?
Mm-mm.
You sure?
Go look one more time.
All right. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. You may see my son walking in the background. He's trying to help me locate my phone. I don't know what I did with it, but I wanted to kind of double check to make sure everything looks good on side of, okay, that's fine. All right, so if you are here tonight, welcome. I welcome you if you're on live and even if you're watching the replay. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Kendra. I'm the founder of the 180 Collection, and I make all natural hair products to help women regrow their hair. I teach healthy nutrition tips for hair growth, and I also teach mindset hacks because part of hair growth is being consistent, being persistent, having patience, and a lot of that is mindset things that we have to kind of get ourselves used to doing when we're on that journey to regrow our hair. Okay, so tonight I'm coming from the topic, why am I losing my hair? Okay, if you have ever said the words, my hair is falling out, RJ, close that door for me. 5 words, my hair is falling out. Okay, many of us have probably uttered those terrible words before. 5 words that are easy to say but hard to figure out why it's happening and what to do about it. See, my son wants his 5 seconds of fame. He keeps getting in the frame. RJ, please don't get in the camera again, okay? If your hair is shedding, breaking, falling out, or thinning, this is a video that you need to watch because we are going to break down hair loss into 3 different categories, okay? And those 3 categories are medical, cosmetic, and nutritional. All right. So we're going to look at several types of hair loss that fall into those 3 categories. This is going to help you to be able to determine which applies to you and what you may need to do about it, or if there's something you can do about it, we'll kind of guide you through those steps. Okay. So this is actually my first YouTube live video. Okay. I'm going to try to go through the content relatively quickly. Because like I said, this is a new, this platform for me is new doing a live. So I really don't know what to expect. I can't tell who is on. I thought I would be able to see that from the stream settings, but I'm missing something, or I can go back and check it later. So I'm just going to get through the content really quick. Okay, so the 3 categories of hair loss, like I said, the first one is medical. So any medical induced hair loss is caused by medications, illness, stress levels, any kind of sicknesses, anything that needs to be corrected medically, okay, with medication, or is caused by medication, is typically what we call medical hair loss. Cosmetic hair loss, okay, which is one that most of us are unknowingly doing to ourselves. So this is hair loss caused by what you put in it, caused by what you put on your hair, what you put in your hair, or lack thereof. Okay. So this is products, meaning too much products, not enough of the right products, too much heat, not using heat protectant, not cleansing properly, not using enough moisture, not getting enough protein, wearing hairstyles that are extremely too tight, leaving hairstyles up too long. All of these things can lead to some type of hair loss, and we call this cosmetic. Okay. So there's one last type of hair loss in the three categories, and that's nutritional. This is the type of hair loss that most people do not like to talk about. Okay, foods that you eat or do not eat enough of can cause hair loss, right? Inconsistent nutrition habits, not drinking enough water, which a lot of women that I've spoke to, once we kind of get them on a regular hydrating themselves internally, then they do start to see a difference in their hair health. Now, not drinking enough water may not necessarily cause hair loss, but the lack of moisture will cause thin or brittle hair that tends to break and shed more easily. Okay. So now, unless you have scarring, alopecia, or any type of hair loss where your follicles are basically destroyed, there still may be hope for your hair growth. Okay. Not every single type of hair loss can be corrected, right? There are some types of hair loss that are permanent, unfortunately. So always remember that I tell people your hair does shed naturally, okay? Your hair sheds naturally. We shed about 50 to 100 hairs per day, right? So light shedding can be viewed as a sign of healthy hair and normal functioning scalp, okay? So if you comb your hair or you groom your hair or style your hair daily and you notice a little bit of shedding, it's normal, okay? If you want to know more about the growth cycle, I do have a video where I talk about the actual hair growth cycle. I'll try to link it below at the end of this video so that you can go back and check that out if you want to know a little bit more about the science behind the hair growth cycle. So before we get started, let's talk about shedding versus breakage. Because when people say my hair is falling out, the first thing I ask, okay, is it shedding or is it breaking? You have shedding or do you have breakage? Okay, because people use those terms shedding and breakage interchangeably to mean the same thing, like hair is falling out. But the difference is that shedding is a natural process. Remember I said 50 to 100 hairs per day from the scalp. But breakage is usually caused by damage, okay? Stress or nutritional deficiencies. Like I said, if you're not getting enough of the right type of nutrients or vitamins or enough water, that can lead to breakage, right? So is your hair shedding? There's a way that you can do like a little experiment, and this is there's kind of a catch to this experiment. But if you grab like a section of your hair and start close to the scalp and kind of firmly pull up through the length of your hair shaft, examine if you have any hairs that come out at that time, right? And if you do, if they have the white bulb attached, right? Then, and if you see like more than 5 or 6, that could be a sign of a bigger problem, okay? Like I said, there's a catch, because if you're the type that does not comb or style your hair regularly, you may actually see that this is kind of misleading. Because let me give you an example. So like when you have your braids or when you have your protective styles, your hair is still going through the natural shedding process, right? So even if you're wearing braids for 3 to 4 months or 5 months or 6 months, or you're wearing a sew-in or quick weave or any type of protective style, your hair still goes through the natural shedding process. That's why when you take your hair down from braids or, you know, your protective style, you comb it out or you detangle it and you have like so much hair and you kind of freak out a little bit. Well, that's because your hair is still shedding while you're wearing braids, right? It's still doing its thing. Okay. And that's why you typically tend to see more growth, is because you have not been touching your hair and it's been months since you've actually seen it. Your hair does seem to have grown faster, when reality it's just because you haven't seen it in so long. It's been tucked away. The pulling and tugging probably does give you some extra length, but it's really not just because you wore braids. It's because you weren't touching it. Protective styles are designed to do just that, to protect your hair from you combing it and styling it every day and causing more damage, right? Okay, so that's how we can kind of determine shedding. So breakage, we talked about breakage a while back on our Facebook Live. If you're not a part of our Facebook group, or not our group, our Facebook page, I'm going to leave a link to our Facebook page below. Go over there, check us out there. I have tons of videos and live content there. And so again, breakage is caused by a result of, or breakage is a result of weakness or an imbalance in the structure of your hair shaft, okay? The hair shaft is the hair that you see, right? And so that's, again, poor grooming habits, not getting the proper nutrition. We'll go more into this shortly. I don't want to keep repeating myself on that. So let's look at the first category of hair loss, which is medical, right? And remember, anytime we use the word alopecia, alopecia is just a fancy scientific way of saying hair loss. There are different types of alopecia. So when people say, oh, I think I have alopecia, and I'm like, okay, well, what kind of alopecia? Like, there's different types of alopecia, right? I also have a YouTube video on that, so you can go check that out as well. Okay, so now let's look at the types of hair loss that are either internal or need medical treatment, right? And just so you know, like, if you are considering having blood work or blood tests done, this is something that your doctor or your dermatologist can do. You can ask for a blood panel for specific deficiencies in your blood, and some of the ones that could lead to hair loss, okay? So here are the most common medical causes of hair loss in females. The first one is physical or emotional stress. Hello, how many of us can say that we are dealing with that, especially with everything that's going on right now, right? AKA the vid, right? So aside from the emotional stress from everything going on in the world, you have stress from surgeries, stress from illnesses, stress from being anemic, if you're getting a lack of sleep, childbirth, being pregnant. All of these things are physical types of stress. And then you have the emotional stress, which can be any kind of psychiatric illness. If you've lost a loved one during this time, if you've lost a job or had any issues with your income, you're trying to figure out how we're going to make it. Like, these are all stressful things, right? So physical emotional stress takes energy away from your body's non-life sustaining activities, such as hair growth, right? Your body is a very smart thing, right? So it knows, okay, we're a little stressed out, so I'm going to take some of the energy that we would normally use to grow hair, and we're going to put it in other places, in vital organs like our heart, our lungs, our kidneys, our liver, etc. Right? So just remember that when you are under stress, your body signals the non-life sustaining activities and says, hey, we're going to remove the energy from that thing and we're going to put it into things that are more important, because we want to keep this person alive. We want to keep ourselves alive, right? So it's very important for you to consider any stress-related things that are going on, and sometimes even after the fact. So sometimes your body doesn't show the effects of your stress until 3 to 6 months after the stressful event. So it's not necessarily that you may see hair loss while you're going through something stressful. It may not manifest itself until 3 to 6 months or even 9 months later, I've seen for some people. So you just want to be, again, mindful of any major physical or emotional stress that you have experienced in the last few months. Right? So the second medical cause for hair loss is hormones. Okay, so we're talking about postpartum, if you take birth control pills, if you're going through menopause, insufficient hormone supplementation, if you're on any type of testosterone containing hormone supplements. Many women we don't realize that hair loss can occur with things like taking birth control pills. So if you fall into that category, again, this is a hormonal change. So if you're taking birth control pills, we know that's a hormonal change. And that's something that you could probably start to see. The more you take it, the more you may notice a difference, right? And then sometimes I tell people, like, you may be losing more hair and you may not notice it until it's noticeable, right? So just, again, be mindful of the medications that you're taking, any type of stress that you're under, right? And then we talk about menopause, which is another medical cause for hair loss, which can cause thinning, especially in the top. So I work with a lot of women that are dealing with hair loss right here in the crown, right here in the top part of their hair. Most of these women are going through menopause, right? Again, a hormonal change. Other hormonal issues, irregular menstrual cycles, infertility, ovarian hormonal, any hormone type, any hormonal imbalance. So this could be medically induced. This could be something that's going on with your body, an illness, anything like that. Another thing is a thyroid, okay? There are several things that can cause hair loss, but the thyroid gland plays a vital part in your hair growth. Many people don't know that. So we know that the thyroid is located in the neck and not only produces hormones, but it also regulates hair growth. If your thyroid is underactive, it can lead to thin, brittle hair as well as hair loss. So that's something else that you could ask your doctor to check for, to check your thyroid. Or if you already have thyroid issues and you're seeing hair loss or issues with your hair, you can tie those two together. And then medications. So we know that blood thinners, high blood pressure pills, anything with a high dose of vitamin A, any type of chemotherapy, which I am familiar with that because I actually went through chemo. I feel like I'm out of focus. I actually went through chemo in 2020, and it did cause all of my hair to fall out from head to toe. If I scoot up, so. Okay. So yeah, chemotherapy, radiation, those types of things can cause hair loss as well. All right, so those are the medical causes. Now, so let's talk about the cosmetic causes of hair loss, right? Anybody know, do you or you know anybody that is a constant scalp scratcher? Like you're just always itching. I usually have a rat tail comb in front of me, but you always sticking something in your scalp to scratch it, whether it's your nails, whether it's a pen or a pencil, but you constantly scratch, okay? Now, this could be a sign of a bigger problem. It could be seborrheic dermatitis, right? So basically it's like a skin infection. So if you have scaly patches, if you have red, if you notice that your scalp is red or has scaly patches or dandruff, and you're always scratching it, this could be a sign of a bigger problem. I would definitely go see a dermatologist or a doctor that specializes in scalp, the conditions of the scalp. Okay, because it is possible to scratch yourself bald. I just want you to know that. And that is like a nervous condition for some people where they scratch their scalp when they're nervous. You can scratch yourself bald, okay? So there are some medicated soaps or shampoos with things like zinc and selenium sulfide, sulfur, salicylic acid that can be applied to the scalp to kind of help with that. Again, if you are not finding relief with over-the-counter things, definitely see your dermatologist. Okay, so another type of cosmetic cause for alopecia is hair care tools, right? So any type of hair combing, clipping, or pinning too frequently, especially if you already have brittle hair, that can lead to hair damage, more damage, or hair loss, okay? Like I said, using hairpins, hair ties, clasps, any heat styling tools. We know that we love to flat iron, especially if we're wearing really straight or silky hair extensions and we have leave out. I see a lot of women with heat damage to this section of their hair because they have flat ironed it to death, right? Trying to get that silky straight. look. So the only thing with that, I would suggest that you make sure you're always using a heat protectant. But a heat protectant can only do so much, because I've seen women have their flat iron turned all the way up as hot as it will go, and the heat protectant is really doing you no good at that point, right? So just be mindful of your heat styling tools, and that also can include blow dryers. I know a lot of naturals use blow dryers frequently. It just depends on if you're using it the right way. So you can use your blow dryer on a cool setting, and you won't see the damage, as opposed to using it super hot to dry your hair really quickly. Okay, what else? So another way that you can cause hair loss cosmetically is your styling techniques, right? So this is the number one cosmetically induced hair loss. The number one reason is how you style your hair. And I'm talking specifically about protective styles like braids, weaves, wigs, extensions. Like, that'll do it every time. Wearing the styles too frequently, protective styles too frequently, too tight, and with not enough rest time in between styles. I've seen women go from tight braids, take them down, and 2 days later they're back into some more tight braids. Or, with wigs, take the wig out, let your hair rest for about 45 minutes, just long enough to wash it and dry it, and you back into that wig with wig glue, or with a sew-in, or things of that nature. Those things over time does cause hair loss, right? We don't think about that when we're young and we're out here getting all these cute styles. And then when you get into your 40s, you're looking in the mirror like, man, it sure is thin around the sides and in the top. Because over time, you end up damaging your follicles, okay? So we've talked about medical causes for hair loss. We've talked about cosmetic causes for hair loss. Now let's look at the nutritional. This is the third category, nutritional causes for hair loss, right? So this thing is just important as everything else I mentioned, okay? You must consider changing your diet. Your diet, your diet, your diet. I know people do not like to hear that. But our bodies were not meant to consume as much junk food as we consume. Every now and then, it's okay. I like some junk food every now and then myself. But your digestive tract just cannot metabolize these foods, and they don't contain the nutrients anyway, right? They don't contain true nutrients anyway. I know you can't read the label of everything you purchase for every product, but there are some minor things that you can do that will help your body and will help you to have healthy hair, okay? So there are a few select vitamins and minerals that have great hair benefits, right? A lot of women ask me, well, what kind of hair growth vitamin can I take? I don't really recommend a hair growth vitamin, because your particular situation, you may only need one vitamin. Hair growth vitamins tend to have a mixture of a lot of things. But it depends on your eating habits, what supplements you're already taking. Have you done a blood panel? So do you know like what parts of your what minerals or vitamins are you already deficient in? That's why I do not recommend hair growth vitamins. And I especially don't recommend gummies, hair growth gummies, right? So let's look at a few. Iron. Iron is the first one. Iron is needed to carry oxygen from your lungs to other areas of the body. Iron deficiency can wreak havoc on your hair as well, right? Especially women, those of us that still have a monthly cycle. Remember, you lose a lot of blood during that time of the month. So you most definitely, and especially when you're pregnant as well, a lot of us become anemic when we're pregnant, and we feel the effects of that when we are on our menstrual cycle. So that's just something that you need to be aware of. Vitamin A. Vitamin A helps hair growth on a cellular level, and it also promotes healthy scalp. The only catch with vitamin A is that too much of it can also lead to hair loss, okay? a B complex vitamin. So I know a lot of us want to take biotin, but biotin is just one of the Bs. I would suggest a B complex because it's going to give you your B1, B2, 3, your folate, B9, and of course B7, which is biotin. And then also vitamin C. All of us should be taking vitamin C anyway right now. Okay, if you're not taking vitamin C, you need to be taking vitamin C, right? That's the least you can do for your immune system. Okay, so it's responsible not only for your immune system, but also it's kind of the glue that holds your body together, so to speak, right? So it strengthens a lot of the blood vessels, gives your skin its elasticity, it's an antioxidant. It's just kind of an all-around, well-rounded vitamin that I recommend. Well, that I take myself, right? And that's just something that um, if you are deficient in, I would definitely recommend you talk to your doctor or your healthcare provider about vitamin C. So that was vitamin C, B complex, vitamin A, and iron. Those are the four that I would suggest, right? And then, so last but not least, in the nutritional hair loss, we're talking about your diet. A poor diet. I talked about eating too much junk food in the beginning. I just want to kind of tap on that just a little bit because, like I said, when I talk to women about their diet, it's just kind of like you hit a hard spot. We don't want to change our diet. Like, that's the thing I don't understand. But just to know that a lot of us are on these rapid weight loss, rapid weight gain diets, unusual dieting habits. People are becoming vegan or vegetarian not for the health benefit, but because it's like a fad. Lack of protein, prolonged fasting if you are starving yourself. Any rapid weight change without the right nutrition can cause hair loss. Yo-yo dieting, your body goes into starvation, your energy is diverted away from your hair growth. Just, I've heard so many crazy diets, right? And all of those can lead to hair loss. So, again, like I said, it was going to be really quick. We've been on 27 minutes. That's perfect. I know this was quick, but I hope that it has increased in some way your knowledge of healthy hair care and hair loss prevention. It's my goal to make sure that you have good information before you reach for the next hair care product, okay? Because another hair care product may not be what you need. You may just be deficient in a vitamin or mineral, or you may just need to drink more water, right? Or you may need to go to the doctor and get your blood checked. It could be many different reasons. Or you may need to stop wearing those tight hairstyles. That could be it too. So if you have questions, you can put them in the comments below this video. I will check back. I usually check my YouTube daily, so I will respond to you. I would appreciate your questions. I would appreciate if you found this content helpful that you would hit the like button. If you think that my channel or my content is something that you could benefit from, consider subscribing. I'm trying to get my channel we're taking baby steps, right? We're at 325 now. I'm trying to get us to 500 subscribers by, I said the end of April, so now we're talking the middle of May, okay? I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. Share this content if you think it will benefit someone that you know, okay? Again, I do have an Instagram page. I have a Facebook page. I do have a Snapchat, which I do not use often, but I do post there as well. All the links for those will be below. I have a free ebook, okay? If you are into hair growth oils, or if you're into doing DIYs for hair growth, I have a free ebook. It's linked below too. I also make natural hair care products, okay? One of my top seller is the Balm hair growth treatment. It is made with over 20 natural oils and herbs. That's how it looks. It's like a pomade or a hair grease, whatever you call it. It's normally $24.99, but it's currently discounted to $19.99. Okay, so you can get that. Also, another top seller is our Spray and Go Conditioning Mist. Your hair needs moisture. Your hair needs moisture. Your hair needs moisture. Okay, this is a awesome way to moisturize your hair and scalp. It's very light. It's not that creamy type of leave-in conditioner. It's made with aloe and rose water. It smells amazing, especially if you are wearing braids or anything where your scalp is exposed. You need to be hydrating your scalp daily, okay, or at least every other day, right? You can find these two products, the Balm and the Spray and Go Conditioning Mist. Both of these are handmade by me, okay, and everything is always fresh. And you can check out the reviews for everything on the website. Again, the website is listed below, and I think that is it. Yes, that is it. So, again, thank you so much for joining. I will try to be back again next Thursday. Thursdays are going to be my day for YouTube videos for now. We'll get some consistency going, and then we'll add another day for that. Okay. Again, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day until I see you again. Take care.